If you want the exclusive, you want the tall boy, because he's going to bring you the exclusive.
Well, thank you. Now, the number one thing is I have a great working relationship with many people in communities where they otherwise would not even feel like they can talk to an elected leader or don't have a way to talk to someone who's in power. And that is very important to build trust between communities and our police department. We do have a better infrastructure in place and a better approach to things than you see in other cities. But still, we can improve and we can do better. Atlanta should be the leader in criminal justice reform. We're leaning in the right direction, but still, we got to do better by our people. What's that mean? We've already banned the box on felon re-entry into jobs coming out of jail. We worked that in the city and we passed it at the state. We also have worked on pre-arrest diversion to prevent people from being arrested when they really need social service. They need mental illness support, substance abuse, or just homeless. Shouldn't be arresting people when they're dealing with substance abuse. They don't need to be in jail. They need to be in supportive services. And so we passed that. We've also struck 40 of our code of ordinances related to quality of life crimes. These are the crimes that people are arrested for: jaywalking, spitting, walking on the street. Again, trumped up charges that we've heard of for years. Your light bulb is out and you get arrested as a black man. No one else gets arrested for these things in a lot of cases. The last thing, and it's one of the bigger things, is transparency in officer-involved shootings. I have that legislation on the table right now. But the biggest for me right now for tomorrow is legislation related to making possession of marijuana of less than an ounce a non-jailable offense. It's a shame and it is wrong that we are criminalizing primarily African Americans, young African Americans. Over 92% of the young over 92% of the people arrested in our jail for marijuana possession are African Americans for less than an ounce. And it's always been the case. We can do better in this scenario. And how will we do better? We make it a non-jailable offense. We have the legislation is on the table for Monday so that it can now go to a vote with my colleagues and make it where it becomes a ticket that you receive if you're caught with less than an ounce of marijuana. That will save a lot of lives because marijuana is not the gateway. Going to jail is the gateway. And if anything, alcohol is the gateway because all of us started drinking alcohol in high school. Then you graduate to other things, but it's legal. It's legal in general. If we made marijuana a non-jailable offense for possession of less than an ounce, I think number one, we would save lives. We would help students not to lose their scholarships. We would make sure that people are more employable because people become unemployable because of that possession charge. And then we would also keep families together. A lot of families are torn apart because of that possession charge. You go from there to pivoting to spending those resources on prevention in communities and spending it on serious and violent crimes. We want our officers not arresting a kid for a joint. We want our officers arresting people really doing bad things or about to do bad things. And right now we got it twisted because we're spending more of the time and energy or a large percentage or wasting millions of dollars on these petty crimes. Everybody deserves to participate and be a part of our great city. But the second you choose to be outside of the lines, then there are consequences for that. Many people who might not live in Atlanta still call Atlanta home and consider it a place to enjoy their lifestyles. Our streets are not for the stunt work that these young men and women do. That's not what you do on a public street. However, what I've been doing is working with the ATL Bike Life to look at how we can create some bike parks where they would be dedicated to the performance work, the stunt work, the sheer creative abilities that they have. Anywhere else, it would be turned into an industry. So as mayor, my plan is to create the dynamic space where they can go and get their stuff off. Just like you do with monster trucks and you do with we built a skateboard park. So I've already done a skateboard park. I did the first one in the city. I've done 5 dog parks in the city, in my district. 5 of the first ones. We're gonna do an ATV type park. We're gonna do one for just the bikes so that they can participate and do their thing. Now there will be some requirements. If you're gonna do it, if you wanna come to the park, you gotta play ball and not ride on the street the wrong way and ride on the sidewalks and scare people and make people have accidents and risk your own lives. We want you over there because you also can turn it into a monetized stream. There can be, people coming to view it, just like monster trucks, just like the X Games, and it's going to end up being something where people actually get new revenue streams for themselves personally and for their crews and for their groups. So I really am saying, look, let's turn it into business. Let's stop playing with it and let's turn it into business. As far as car culture, I've done a lot. Hey, how you doing? I've done a lot already for the drift racers. I've supported them, helped them do something at Turner Field with the last Lunar Day weekend. Convertible Burt put some things over there. He called. I helped work it out with my colleague, Carla Smith, to make it where they could actually do their thing, even though the neighborhood had been complaining about drift racing. So there's a way to do everything. Number one, that's why I'm here. I wouldn't be elected and being a good elected leader if I wasn't accessible to make it where our constituents, some of them need to make sure that they participate in the civic process by registering and actually voting, because if you don't have a person like me, it might really be shut down. So you got to think about it. Who actually will go out to meet with ATL Bike Life and say, hey, look, y'all, what's up? I discovered where they were doing stuff. I go see them and talk to them, and we've had many powwows, sat down and talked about how we can do it right. Same with the drift racers. So I'm a person who's inclusive because this is my family. That's why I'm here. You hire, quote unquote, elect people to represent your interests. There's no better person to represent the interests of the urban culture that we have in Atlanta, Metro Atlanta, and that Atlanta signifies for the whole country and the African diaspora. There's no one else in this race who even knows the people we're talking about. And actually, excuse my language, fucks with them. And they fuck with me. And I got their numbers and they got mine. Bear just hit me today. So we have a real currency. We got to turn it into something that's beyond that, in the same way that I get a developer who just bought a property up here and he's trying to build something, but the neighborhood doesn't want it. It's no different. But that's why I exist, to facilitate and mediate and create a compromise, a win-win-win. If you ask that lady who just went by with her dog, what's up with the fact that they're doing a development over here, she probably say, I don't want it. But she still wants to talk to me, just like the developer wants to talk to me. So leaders have to facilitate compromise and wins that everyone can benefit from, as opposed to letting it be one side. But if you're not available and you're not accessible, you won't be able to do it.
Think big, think tall, think tall boy.
Tall boy.